Give it everything you got.
Salutations, viewers, and welcome to AHS Basketball on AHS Sports Network on YouTube. Tonight we bring you a boys Substate semifinal game. It's the 13-4 10th-ranked Hoover Huskies and the 15-3 3rd-ranked Ames Little Cyclones. A quick look at the bracket. Hoover beat Fort Dodge 60-40 to move on to play tonight. And the winner of tonight's game plays either Indianola or Ankeny Centennial this upcoming Tuesday for a spot in the state tournament. And we are glad to have you with us, folks. Carter White alongside Ryan Eggert, live from Ames High Gymnasium. Ryan and I are calling our final game as a broadcast duo. He very well could be taking over full-time play-by-play announcing for the soccer season, while I focus on other things in AHS Sports Network. But let's unpack this game. We thought Johnston a week ago tonight was going to be a treat, but for two reasons, this game has so much more hype behind it. The first of those two reasons being the history that these two teams have between each other. Ever since the great Harrison and Dougie, Ames wasn't able to beat Hoover until last season, which was their first victory over the Huskies in a decade. Among those losses is a 2015 state quarterfinal loss, as well as a 2016 Substate final loss. So if you've been an Ames fan for at least 6 years, you've been waiting for an opportunity to take down this team in the playoffs and get some revenge.
Yeah, tonight's game is extremely important for Ames. Not only do they have a great chance to make state this year, but their offense has been absolutely incredible with Tame at the helm. They've been just playing so well as their defense, their aggressive defense. They're going to have to make sure that it's flawless tonight. They need to sort of replicate what they did to Hoover last Saturday, and, you know, they could very well punch their ticket to the Substate final.
Secondly, it's these two stellar offenses, like Ryan was just mentioning. For Hoover, it's sophomores Chase Henderson and Elijah Voss, averaging about 18 points a game, as well as senior Manny Austin, averaging about 13 points a game. Then for Ames, it's juniors Taman Lipsy, 17 points a game roughly, and Travion LeBeau and senior Keyshawn Brooks, both averaging about 10 points a game. Some of the best in the state at what they do, and so hard to stop. I do think that given the environment here in Ames High Gymnasium, and obviously because of the rankings, Hoover comes into this as the underdogs, no pun intended, but do not count them out. This game is going to come down to who outdoes who, especially in the second half.
Yeah, the third quarter has been pivotal for Ames this season. They've really been able to take a grip on the game when they've been leading at the half in that third quarter. And what they need to do is sort of, like I said earlier, replicate what they did to Roosevelt. If they have the lead at half, extend it in that third, because it's going to, the time that you have to keep it is going to be much less than having to come back from that. And as we said before, they have a really good chance of going to the Substate final if they play really, really well tonight.
And now let's get into your starters for tonight's contest, ladies and gentlemen. First off, for the visiting Des Moines Hoover Huskies, head coached by Courtney Henderson. At guard, a 6-foot sophomore, number 2, Chase Henderson. At guard, a 6'3" senior, number 3, Manny Austin. At forward, a 6'7" junior, number 11, Kier Diu. At forward, a 6'6" senior, number 24, Jeremiah Wilson. And at forward, a 6'4" sophomore, number 25, Elijah Voss. Now for your little Cyclones, head coached by Vance Downs. At guard, a 6-foot senior, number 5, Casey Mumm. At guard, a 6'2" junior, number 14, Taman Lipsy. At guard, a 6'6" sophomore, number 20, Lucas Luth. At forward, a 6'5" junior, number 23, Travion LeBeau. And at center, a 6'6" junior, number 52, Corey Phillips. All right, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break and be right back. Two of the best in the state trying to move on to the next round, trying to put themselves in a position where they can hopefully be one win away from Wells Fargo Arena. Who will come out on top? We're going to find out after this. Keep it right here. Tip-off is coming up next. You're watching AHS Basketball on AHS Sports Network on YouTube. Welcome back into it, folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are ready for what should be a fantastic game. Right in front of you is the sold-out Ames student section. Hoover came with a great environment. You can't see it because of the scoreboard, but they have a student section too, and a great environment in general for both sides. Travion LeBeau and Jeremiah Wilson on the tip. And both crowds getting loud. And ladies and gentlemen, the ball is up and we're underway for the Substate Semifinal between Ames and Hoover. Ames wins the tip. Lipsy passes into the corner. Luth for three, no good, and the ball is taken the other way. It's Chase Henderson who has the hot hand from three for the Huskies. Ties with Elijah Voss for the most three-pointers. And the ball is going to go to, who's it going to go to?
It's going to stay with Hoover. Mum got a touch to it there. And the energy inside this place is unreal right now.
Both sides getting loud. Henderson inside the paint, off the glass, no good, and Phillips gets the rebound for Ames, and they've got the ball. Here's Lipsy. Finds LeBeau. Travion LeBeau to Phillips at the left wing. Takes a three-pointer, and he's got it for the first bucket of the game. Corey Phillips. All right, here we go. And now it's time for the Huskies to have a possession. Corey Phillips, who we forgot to talk about, also is a dangerous man.
Yes, he is. Indeed. Oh.
Manny Austin puts it up from the elbow. Can't lay it in off the rim. And instead it's going to be a rebound from Wilson. And Hoover keeps the ball after Ames tried to get it back. Kind of hard to see the game with the student section right here, but here's LeBeau on the drive. He's got it. Travion LeBeau. 5-0 lead for the little Cyclones. And a timeout is taken by Hoover. An early timeout as the Huskies start out with a great, the little Cyclones rather start out great. And we'll see how much further they can take it after this break. Keep it right here. You're watching AHS Basketball on AHS Sports Network, on YouTube, the postseason. Sorry, folks, we're going to be having the camera adjusted for a little bit, so I'll do the best to make sure you guys can still understand what's going on in the game. Pass to DU at the top of the key, defended by LeBeau. Now it is Voss at the top of the key. Finds Austin. Dish out into the corner. It's DU. DU finds Henderson. Henderson near the center circle, 5:57 to go in the first. Henderson takes it from the baseline, can't lay it in. LeBeau the rebound for Ames. Travion LeBeau, one of the clutch players for Ames, and now inside it's Phillips. Crowd has gotten a little bit more silent, but now it's Lipsy on the drive. Can't put it in, but he gets his own rebound, and now Phillips with another left wing three. He's got it! Corey Phillips with an 8-0 lead for the little Cyclones off of his second three.
Wow. That's what you call a great start right there. Just absolutely phenomenal three-point shooting from Phillips, and hopefully he can keep that up.
And now finally Austin, Manny Austin underneath is going to start the scoring for Hoover. And it's 8-2. Huskies still have quite a bit to go. Phillips at the top of the key inside to LeBeau. Now into the corner, it's Mum. Tries to bounce pass inside to LeBeau, and it's to Mum rather, and it's gonna be Voss who ends up with the steal, and now Huskies will take it the other way. And there's a elbow jumper from Austin to cut the lead in half. 8-4, 4:34 to go in the first.
Ames needs to make sure that they keep answering these Hoover buckets to prevent any sort of run from occurring.
Here's Phillips with a pass to Lipsy. Lipsy at the left wing, trying to shake off Henderson. Backwards pass to LeBeau, takes it from the free throw line, and it's no good, and the ball is taken back by Ames. Wilson had it slapped out of his hands, and now it's a three-pointer from Lipsy, and he's got it! 11-4, 4:01 to go in the first. And they will call a foul on,
What?
I'm not sure who that is yet. They call it on Mum. Keyshawn Brooks checks in for the Ames Little Cyclones. Brooks, who is the leading three-point scorer for Ames with a total of 32 on the season, he'll be crucial tonight.
Yeah, he's going to be crucial, and if he can drop a couple on Hoover in this first half, especially in this first quarter, Hoover could find themselves in a really big hole for the rest of the game.
Voss. And a foul's going to be called on Ames. I'm not sure who they're getting.
I think they're going to get Brooks on that one. Yep. That's unfortunate.
Inbound will come from Austin. 3:37 to go in the first. Gets it to Wilson. Back to Austin in the corner. Defended by Brooks. Austin trying to drive inside. And he's going to travel. The ball goes the other way. Made the shot, but traveling killed that, and that could have been huge for Hoover.
Yeah, that's a turnover that they didn't need to commit there. So if Ames can capitalize here, Hoover's not going to be looking so good at the end of this first quarter.
3:23 to go in the first. Lipsy with a quick pass to LeBeau on a bounce pass, rather. And now you got Mum at the right wing to LeBeau, to Brooks, way outside the left wing. Almost took a three, instead passes to Phillips, who gets it to Lipsy at the right wing. And Lipsy with a three-pointer, and he's got it! For the 10-point lead, 14-4. 2:54 to go in the first. The crowd is getting loud here.
Well, this is the biggest student section that we've seen all season, that we're going to see all season here at Ames. They've been absolutely phenomenal.
Elbow jumper is no good from Austin. Lipsy with a pass inside to Phillips. He can't lay it in underneath, and Austin's going to get the rebound for Hoover. And it's a good thing Phillips didn't make that if you're Hoover, because you got to start cutting into this lead.
Yeah, you really do need to start cutting into this lead, and it needs to be in decently big chunks. Offensive foul there.
They called a foul on Austin. Gives the ball to the Little Cyclones. Haven't heard chants like you can't do that from the Little Cyclones student section since last year.
Yeah. You know, it's obviously been difficult with the pandemic happening and them not allowing many students in to games this year.
Brooks unable to lay it in from
almost went
outside,
in
and the
on
rebound is taken by, I'm not sure. Well, they got a foul called on the Little Cyclones. They're going to get Mum on that. I don't exactly know what happened.
He was going up for the ball. It looked like he got all ball, but apparently the ref saw something different, and now Casey's got 2 fouls. So he's going to have to sit for a little bit.
Senior number 10, Akola Tack, checks into the Little Cyclones lineup. 1:57 to go in the first. Henderson. Henderson on the drive, now stops and puts it up from the paint. No good. Rebound taken by Wilson, and Hoover keeps the ball, which they desperately needed to do. Here's Henderson. At the left wing, takes a three. No. And they're going to have a foul call. That's going to be on Henderson. He
Yeah.
ran into LeBeau a little bit too aggressively.
Yeah, I mean, aggressive going after your own rebound. It was a good attempt, but you know, just a little bit late getting there.
Junior number 32, Ringyak, checks into the Ames lineup. 1.5 minutes to go in the first. Lipsy into the center circle, slowing down the pace of this game.
Yep, they've gotten off to a fast start, but now they need to be efficient. You know, they don't want to make those mistakes by going too fast.
Lucas Luth from right where he usually makes it. We've got a 17-4 game. The little Cyclones absolutely dominating Hoover so far.
They made 5 3-pointers here in the first quarter. That's been absolutely incredible for them.
Henderson inside. Gives the Huskies a little bit more light at the end of the tunnel. He practically dunked it. And he's only 6 foot.
Oh, guess you would call him a small guy compared to the size of the rest of the team.
And Keyshawn Brooks with the drive, and he lays it in to make it a 19-6 game, back to a 13-point game. Henderson on the drive, can't lay it in, but he's fouled on his way there.
Who's they gonna get for this?
And they are going to get Lipsy.
Yep.
Henderson going to the line for the Huskies. His first one is no good. Henderson shoots 67.8% from the line, and he's made the most free throws of this entire team with 61.
Jaden Lovelace for Hoover just checked into the game.
And he's got his second. He made the second one. So it's a 12-point game, 24 seconds to go in the first.
Well, you know, Taman's got the ball, 20 seconds left in a quarter. You know what he's going to do. Hold for the last shot.
As per usual. 13 seconds to go in the first. He's almost out of bounds practically, and you know he's going to go for the last shot here.
5 seconds. 4. He's going to get the screen.
Yak shut up the great
separation.
screen. Now into Brooks for 3. No.
Very close. Very close. But a very good start for Ames. That's exactly what they needed to have tonight against the Huskies, who, statistically speaking, they're very, very even. They're very, very much on the same scale in a way. They're very competitive against each other.
Absolutely. And before we move on with the game, I'd like to bring up our sponsors. AHS Basketball on AHS Sports Network on YouTube is brought to you by the following. OBS Studio, free and open source software for video recording and live streaming. Download and start streaming quickly and easily on Windows, Mac, or Linux. And by YouTube Live, bringing you live streams on YouTube.com since 2008. If you'd like to stay up to date on all things AHS Sports Network, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And make sure to subscribe to the channel and push the notification bell to be notified when we upload or go live. And now we will head back into this game. And now, what a fantastic first quarter for the little Cyclones. And Hoover's going to need to start getting something going.
Yeah, they got to turn it around quickly here in the second quarter because, you know, if they get down by a lot, going into halftime and they struggle in that third quarter, the chances of them coming back will be very low.
There's Foss with a three-pointer. No, not a single three-pointer from Hoover so far in this game. Ball goes out of bounds and stays with the Huskies. Manny Austin will be on the inbound. Chevelle Rucci with the ball. Passes to Henderson. Henderson near the center circle. Quick ball movement by the Huskies. Oh, and that almost went out of bounds.
Yeah, that could have been very bad.
Henderson with a nice floater, and it's a 19-9 game. The deficit is down to 10. Phillips trying to increase that deficit, and he's going to do so.
Wow. He can't miss.
22-9.
My goodness, he's been perfect. 3 for 3. My goodness.
And you know, we usually don't see Phillips shoot from the outside that much. He's only made so many from outside. Only 11. That's only his 14th, that one right there. And there's a lay-in from Luth. 24-9. We got a 15-point lead.
Wow. I mean, Ames has just dominated to start this game. They're going to need to keep this up, of course, going through the rest of the game to win.
Oh, and they're going to call a travel. Everything that could possibly go wrong for the Huskies is going wrong.
My. Ugh.
6.5 to go in the second. Lipsy deciding to slow down the pace a little bit, and now here's Brooks from his hot spot. No good. He gets his own rebound.
That's
the athleticism of Keyshawn Brooks. Phenomenal once again, folks. Brooks in the corner again. 6:08 to go in the second. He tries again. And his second attempt is no good either, and Hoover gets the ball. 6 minutes now to go in the second. Here's Manny Austin with the ball. Taking it near half court, trying to shake off Brooks. And now a corner three is good. Finally a three-pointer from Jaden Lovelace, the 6'3 senior, number 15. And now here's Lipsy, who's going to strike right back and erase the clutch shot of Lovelace.
my. What a response Ames has had to everything that Hoover has tried to do. By the way, I think that three-pointer that Lovelace just shot was ruled a 2, considering it's a 27-11 on the scoreboard.
Lipsy on the drive. Can't lay it in, but he's fouled on his way there.
Yeah. So what I was saying, I think they took that as a 3 on the Lovelace supposed 3. They made that a 2, but then, of course, they just made a 3 now, so wouldn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Foul charge to Chevelle Rukti. I may have incorrectly pronounced that, of course. His first.
And here you got Lipsy, who shoots 72.8% from the line.
Very good. Very good job from Lipsy this year. No, he's just, it's almost as if he's returned to the form that he had in his freshman year. Almost as if missing his sophomore year didn't really affect him, but it made him a lot stronger. You know, he knew he was the man who was going to have to take over this program, and boy, is he taking it by storm.
Lipsy will shoot 2 from the line, and indeed he has done exactly that. Someone from Hoover tried to distract him by screaming bloody murder, and instead the bloody murder that Ames is having over the Huskies is only going to continue.
Only going to continue at this rate.
There it is again.
Well, just keep doing it, and he's going to keep knocking down free throws. He's already got 11 points, leading scorer as of right now.
If that's what they do the entire game, they're not going to have a good time trying to talk to Morrow, and a foul is called on Austin on the drive. Or Austin was the victim of the foul on the drive. It's going to be on LeBeau. That's his first. So Austin will shoot for Hoover. That's Manny Austin, who does shoot 78% from the line. He makes his first one. 29-15 is the score. 5:01 to go in the first half.
Good save there.
Second one from Austin, bounces around and goes in, and it's a 13-point game. 5 minutes to go in the second. Still a long ways to go for Hoover.
Yeah, they got some time to get this back, but, you know, they're going to want to take this out in a little bit bigger chunks than single baskets. You know, they might need a couple 5-0 or 7-0 runs here against Ames.
Phillips, who's at the hot hand from 3, decides to pass it to Brooks instead at the right wing.
No, he thought about it. I mean, I wouldn't blame him if he took that shot, because he's been fantastic to start.
LeBeau, Lipsy. LeBeau set up a screen for Lipsy, and inside. Wow, did he intend to alley-oop that?
I don't think so. I think he wanted to take the shot, but at the same time he was still driving, so he kind of had to let it go, and it went in.
4:07 to go in the second, 31-16. Ball was almost swatted away from the hands of Voss, and Austin's got it at the top of the key. 4 minutes to go in the second. Now into the corner. Another travel is called on Lovelace this time.
Oh. That's got to be like the second or third time he's traveled to start this game. He's been a little bit quick with his feet, but he just got to slow himself down.
3:50 to go in the second. Here's Lipsy with a pass to Luth. Top of the key now finds Lipsy at the right wing, trying to shake off Henderson. You got, looks like 3-on-2 defense from Hoover. And you got a travel call. Now the travel's going to be called on Ames.
That's a bad break there.
And now Hoover's trying to, well, this is something new. Hoover's trying to rub it into Ames's face in their student section.
They were having none of it.
And then they say, look at the scoreboard as Henderson lays it in. 31-18. Oh, Keyshawn Brooks with the footwork. I can't imagine how much calisthenics that took, as Phillips can't lay it in from outside. So instead it'll be Henderson with a deep three-pointer. He hit that one from China. And he brings the margin down to 10. 31-21. And I think the timeout is taken by Ames? Yes. Timeout was taken from Ames. 2:57 to go in the second. We'll take a quick break. As a result, keep it right here. You're watching AHS Basketball on AHS Sports Network on YouTube. Welcome back into it, folks. 2:57 to go in the second. It is 31-21. Little Cyclones have a 10-point lead over Hoover. They're trying to keep the lead big.
Yes, so of course that's what they're wanting to do, and by keeping that lead big, that means they can relax their defense a little bit, but of course they're still going to be aggressive like they have been all season.
Chase Henderson. 2.5 to go in the second. Henderson on the drive, loses the ball, travel again. The traveling never ends for the Huskies. 2:26 to go in the second.
The proper kind of traveling you would call TripAdvisor for, not in here.
Yes, you'd probably want to book a flight with the Legion or something rather before. This isn't the type of traveling you want. Now a three from Brooks, and he's got it! The leading three-point shooter of Ames delivers again to make it a 13-point game.
Woo. Well, he's been good from outside, and no, they've just been fantastic from the three-point shooting this first half. If they can keep that up, they'll be almost unstoppable.
And any time it seems like Hoover's got something going, something happens from Ames and it gets pretty much ruined as a three-pointer is missed from Jeremiah Wilson. We reach about 1.5 minutes to go in the second, and you know that Keyshawn Brooks is going to hit from outside. The bank is open late for Keyshawn Brooks, and a timeout is called. And the lead is now extended to 16 points. 1:23 to go in the second. And like I said, any single time it seems like Hoover's got something going, some momentum gets picked up from Ames and they take it the distance.
Yeah, they've had an answer for everything so far, it seems like. You know, they've been able to sort of cancel out the offense from Hoover. Hoover hasn't really had a ton of made contested shots from outside, and they've got a couple easy lay-ins on the inside. But no, they haven't had the contested shots, but they haven't made them. That's the thing. So if Ames can keep up their stellar defense to halftime and get a little rest, come back out with that same mentality that third quarter, they could be very well on their way to the Substate final on Tuesday night.
They very well could. 1:23 to go in the second. Now we got to see. Is Ames just going to keep on pouring on the lead? Is Hoover going to be able to make some sort of significant change, or is this pretty much what we're going to be going into halftime with? Let's find out right now. Hoover starts with the ball, due with the inbound to Henderson. 1:15 to go in the second. Henderson finally brings it into the front court. At the right wing now into the corner, it's Voss. Manny Austin at the top of the key. Quick transition pass to Henderson. Spin move. Henderson on the drive, can't lay it in. Phillips the rebound. 47 seconds to go in the second. So here's Lipsy with a pass to Brooks. And now, 34 seconds to go in the second. Ames wouldn't hope for the last shot this early, I don't think.
Well, they just got to kill a little bit more clock like they're doing right now. I think Taman here in a few seconds, when he'll eventually get the ball back, he'll see how much time's left in hold. Or Keyshawn will hold. That works too.
Looks like they actually are holding for the last shot. Just 10 seconds to go in the first half.
Look at Brooks. He's open. He's
loose. That's not even close, and the ball goes out of bounds with a second to go.
Yeah, I would have given it over to Brooks. He had some space to take a shot,
especially with his dangerous hand. Here's Austin, who lobs it from nearly full court. And that brings us to halftime, 37-21. A so far dominant performance from the little Cyclones heading into the locker rooms.
Yeah, they've been absolutely incredible to start. That first quarter, they got out of the gates extremely fast. That second quarter, they were able to manage that big lead that they had built up. And here, the third quarter is what changes everything, because that's when we've seen teams get some runs on Ames. That's also when we've seen Ames take a firm grasp on the game itself when they're in front. So if they're able to extend their lead, say maybe 21, 22 points, they could be looking very pretty for a Substate final spot.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, there's no halftime entertainment, so we will just take it really quick to break. I would like to remind you guys that since this is my final AHS Sports Network broadcast, I will be giving a sign-off speech at after the conclusion of the game and after the post-game thoughts. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, let's go to halftime. Keep it right here. You're watching AHS Basketball on AHS Sports Network on YouTube. Welcome back into it, folks. The Substate semifinal between the Huskies and the Little Cyclones. It's 37-21 Ames. They've had a dominant game so far, Carter White with Ryan Eggert. So both of these teams are the respected leaders, first ranked in their division of the CIML, Hoover of the CIML Metro Division, and Ames of the CIML Iowa Division. Hoover is 8-2 in conference play, and so is Ames. And, well, it would seem as if it would be a pretty close game, but in all reality, it has been a dominant performance from Ames. Hoover's been able to keep up a little bit, but for the most part, it's been nothing short of an absolute Ames dominance.
Yeah, Ames was the quicker team out of the gate, and if they can have that same kind of start that they did in the first quarter right here in the second half, they'll be looking really good to go on for the rest of the game.
To go on to play either Centennial or Indianola. And when we looked at that score at the half, it was actually pretty close.
Yeah, it was tied at 28 at the end of the second quarter. So that game is going to be close. Both teams are very good, but of course we don't know who's going to get through until that game's over. But whoever that Ames plays, they'll be a good opponent.
Phillips with the bucket. It's 39-21. 11 points for him tonight.
Yeah, he's just had a hot hand. That's his. I think that's his first bucket from inside the three-point line. He's made 3 threes tonight, and you know he's been one of the big contributors alongside Lipsy and Brooks, just like they usually are.
That was Voss who couldn't lay it in for Hoover. Yeah, Phillips only averages 8 points a game. And there's Lipsy, the superstar with a super spin move to make it 41-21. A 20-point lead.
Wow. That's the biggest lead either team has had so far in this game, and Ames just putting their foot into Hoover right now. I think they're going to get Henderson for a push on Mum there, so that'll be his second foul. First of the half for Hoover.
Mum with a pass to Phillips inside to Lipsy. Almost lost the ball, regains it in the corner. Now a fadeaway, no good. And Voss takes it the other way for Hoover. Now Henderson with the ball. Drives, stops at the foul line. Dishes to Austin, back to Henderson at the right wing. To Voss, 6:02 to go in the third. Austin with the drive, loses the ball. It'll go out of bounds and stay with the Huskies as LeBeau was trying to save it from going out.
Oh, he got so close there, man. He would have had that saved had he got it about, I don't know, half a second earlier, but no, great aggressiveness to start the second half from LeBeau and the rest of his teammates.
Henderson on the drive, puts it up and in. 41-23. 5:45 to go in the third. Inside to LeBeau, who's going to erase the points of Henderson on that last possession, and it's 43-23, right back to a 20-point game.
Yeah, I mean, as we talked about right as we came back from half, Ames, and through the second quarter especially, Ames has had an answer for just about everything that Hoover has had tonight. So if they can keep this up, they'll be looking good.
Austin on the drive, and he's fouled on his way there.
That's going to be no, take that back. That's going to be Lipsy's second. I was looking at Mum instead of Lipsy, so all should be good.
$5:18 to go in the third. And it's going to be Mum to Luth, just barely keeping it in bounds. Back to Mum, who lays it in. His first bucket of the game. Casey Mum, who only averages about 5.7 a game. There's his first bucket, so he's got 2 points now.
Yeah, great job by Luth there to make sure that he slowed himself down enough and not go out of bounds. So credit to him.
Three-pointer is no good from Loveless. That actually probably would have been a 2-pointer. His foot was on the line.
Yeah, didn't matter. He's struggled a little bit from outside, but Ames, on the other hand, has been flawless.
Here's Mumm inside to Phillips, who's got it. 47-23, and it's a 24-point game.
That was a good pick and roll there from Phillips. Haven't seen too much of that this season, but always good to see. Nice to see something good.
Luth was trying to get the ball from Voss. Voss manages to keep it. Austin at the right wing. Takes a three, trying to take off Lipsy, and he's got it. A 47-26 game. 4 minutes to go in the third. Lipsy near the center circle, finally brings it into the front court. To LeBeau to Luth. Inside to LeBeau, who shut up a screen for Luth a little bit ago, and he lays it in. 49-26. And really, Hoover's got to start getting something going.
Yeah, they got to get something going, and they got to get going fast.
Henderson from the baseline, and he's unable to lay it in. And Lipsy will take it the other way. Lipsy, who is the leading offensive, defensive, and overall rebounder of Ames, with a rebound there, and a foul or a jump ball?
And a jump ball was called.
Keyshawn Brooks checking into the Ames lineup. Kier Dew, the 6'7" junior forward, into the Huskies lineup. 3:05 to go in the third. Annie Austin with a pass to Ricciuti. To Voss. Henderson at the top of the key, double teamed by Phillips, and Mumm finds Voss in desperation. Back to Henderson at the top of the key. Into the corner, it's Diu who takes it out of the corner. Well defended by LeBeau. Fantastic defense from Ames. And the ball is stolen. LeBeau is going to lay it in. Coast to coast, 51-26, and Ames is coming up on a potential 30-point lead if they keep this up.
My goodness, have they just absolutely had an answer for everything that Hoover's done, and they've just outplayed them through these first three quarters.
That was Ricciuti who tried to set up the pick and roll. Instead, Austin took it himself.
I think they're going to call the foul was before the shot, or during the shot, so it will be an and one.
Lucas Luth is in for the little Cyclones. And I apologize, the name is actually pronounced Rucci. And the first one is good, and it's good from Austin. It looks like that was actually an and one.
Yeah, it was an and one. I wasn't sure because, well, the official made the call, and he didn't make a definitive and one call. So that's why I was questioning a bit.
And the Ames sideline counting the amount of passes that are being made on this possession. So here's Phillips. A minute 43 to go in the third. To Luth. Back to Phillips at the top of the key. Finds Lipsy. Man-to-man defense from Hoover. Into the corner. Phillips for three. You bet! That is 3 3-pointers from Phillips today. 16 points for the big fella.
Wow, the big fella's having himself an evening. Fantastic job by Phillips.
Austin fouled on the shot. They are going to get Luth.
I think they got Brooks. Yeah, yep.
And the first one is good from Austin. Make it a 54-30 game with a minute 19 to go in the third. And the second one is good as well. 54-31. 1:15 to go in the third. Pass to Luth. Phillips at the right wing to Brooks. To LeBeau. Lipsy again to Phillips at the right wing. Looking for an open man, finds LeBeau. To Brooks. We reach under a minute to go in the third. Are they trying to hold for the last shot this early?
No, I don't think they're aware of the time right now, so they're just looking to get some points.
I don't understand why they do that, but now it's down to 40 seconds to go.
Just looking for some space right now, trying to find that separation. Haven't been able to find it on this drive just yet, but they're going to find something soon.
And the clock is wound down to 30 seconds to go in the third. And at this point, it's almost as if they may as well hold for the last shot.
Yeah, I think they might as well. Just have Taman look up at the clock, give him the ball if he gets open, and then, yeah, I think he knows it.
If you remember the old Hoover days in the playoffs, this was Hoover's big thing, was holding the ball. So it seems like Ames wants to give them a little taste of their own medicine. 3 seconds. Lipsy. Brooks with a corner three. No!
That's
Tips it around and doesn't go in at the buzzer.
Oh.
Still a huge lead for Ames.
Well, he got very close at halftime, but granted that, you know, the rim wasn't friendly then and it wasn't friendly now. But still, 23-point lead. They've managed to extend it. And if they're able to just shut Hoover down through this fourth quarter, they'll be looking at a Substate final date.
All right, and with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will once more mention our sponsors for tonight. AHS Basketball on AHS Sports Network on YouTube is brought to you by the following. OBS Studio, free and open source software for video recording and live streaming. Download and start streaming quickly and easily on Windows, Mac, or Linux. And by YouTube Live, bringing you live streams on YouTube.com since 2008. If you'd like to stay up to date on all things AHS Sports Network, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And make sure to subscribe to the channel and push the notification bell to be notified the moment we upload or go live. And make sure, folks, to stick around after the conclusion for the game. Since this is my final broadcast, I'll be giving a sign-off speech. Partner, we have got one more quarter to call together as a broadcast duo. You ready?
Ready or not, here we go.
Luth. Now find Lipsy at the left wing to LeBeau at the baseline. Top of the key. Ooh, Phillips almost took the three. It's not like it wouldn't have gone in at this point.
Yeah, he's been pretty good from outside today.
Here's Luth on the drive. Can't lay it in. He practically hit the rim on the drive. And the ball is stolen. Now here's Lipsy, or LeBeau rather, on the drive. No good, but a foul is called. Travion LeBeau will go to the line to shoot two. The foul is on Voss for Hoover. 7:24 to go in the fourth. LeBeau's first one from the line. Got it. Travion LeBeau, who shoots 48.6% from the line. That might not seem all that impressive, but he joined Ames about halfway through the season.
Yeah, he's been a really great addition, kind of like that final puzzle piece that Ames needed. A guy who could, you know, drive in from outside. Not saying that Phillips can't do that, but he's more of the down low in the post right under the bucket kind of guy. So.
Looks like a little bit of miscommunication leads to a little bit of a delay of game. And now we'll get right back into it.
Well, just taking a look at the scoreboard for Hoover. The three guys that, well, two of the guys who have scored 26 of the 31 points between was Henderson and Austin. And I'm rather surprised that we haven't seen more of Voss because he averages about 12 a game. So, yeah, Hoover definitely missing a link there.
$7:12 to go in the fourth. Here's an inbound and a pass to Henderson, and he tried to put it up. It went off the bottom of the glass, and Ames got the ball off the rebound.
I can guarantee you that's got to be the first time I've seen that happen.
Same here, partner, and LeBeau accounted and the foul. LeBeau with 12 points tonight. That's his 12th, and the foul is going to be called on Kier Diu for Hoover. And LeBeau's unable to put the cherry on top, and the score will remain 58-31 as a result.
27-point lead with 6 minutes to go. Hoover's gotta get all cylinders firing to even think about having a chance of coming back.
Henderson from outside, and there provides a little light at the end of the tunnel and brings the lead down to 24.
Oh, they got a long ways to go. You know, they might just get started, but if Ames can answer, surely that would put an end to Hoover's chances of coming back.
Hoover's going to have to probably try and steal this ball as much as possible without fouling. You don't want to foul quite yet.
Yeah. I mean, they do have, 3 fouls to give. And granted, you want to try and stop the clock as much as possible. But granted, you are 24 points down.
Here's Lipsy on the drive. No good, but the foul is called. And the dangerous kid is headed to the line. That is 3 fouls on the star of Hoover, Mr. Chase Henderson, putting him in foul trouble as Lipsy's first one is good. It would not be preferable for Hoover for them to lose the sophomore.
Yeah, I don't think it would. Well, it kind of would matter because he's been one of the 2 main scorers for Hoover that have really carried this team through.
.5:37 to go in the fourth, and here's Henderson, speaking of which, can't lay it in from the paint. So here is Mum to Lipsy, 5:27 to go in the fourth. Lipsy to LeBeau at the left wing, 5:20 to go in the fourth. Phillips, man-to-man defense from the Huskies again, which is good because they're going to need to try and get this ball as fast as possible.
Yeah, they got to start being a little bit more aggressive with their defense. You know, they're a little laid back right now. They got to make sure that they can get something started.
Here's Mum with a pass to Lipsy. 4:55 to go in the fourth. Lipsy at the center circle, finds Luth to LeBeau. LeBeau on the drive, can't lay it in, but a foul is called on his way there. .448 to go in the fourth. And LeBeau's going to go to the line. Shooting 2, that's going to be the second foul on DU for Hoover. First one from LeBeau is good. 60-34, that's 13 points for him tonight. Manny Austin checks in for the Huskies, and Keyshawn Brooks checks in for the Little Cyclones.
Got at least 3 guys in double figures for Ames. That's just showing you how well they've played tonight.
.443 to go in the fourth. And here is Chase Henderson with a pass to Austin and a pass to Wilson. Top of the key. Henderson on the drive. Oh, and it was deflected by Lipsy. The power of Lipsy compels you. Taman Lipsy with his 5th block of the season, but that was huge. Luth lost the ball, and he was fouled. They're going to call that one on.
I think they're going to get
no
Austin. Yep.
My bad.
All good.
That's 6 fouls in this half.
So they got no more to give. No more to give now.
No fouls to give. down by nearly 30. Ames
4
is at
minutes
this
to
point,
go. So
Ames is at this point looking like it is almost certainly going to be a victory for them.
yes. Now they've just been the better team tonight. They came out guns blazing, and they've been firing on all cylinders since then. So well done to them.
3:43 to go in the fourth, and the clock continues to move. Here's Brooks. Almost broke the ankles of Austin.
Almost broke his own ankles there. Almost stumbled.
But not literally, folks, because we wouldn't want Keyshawn with his impressive performances that he usually has getting injured at this stage of the game.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Full timeout from Ames. I believe that more than likely means Coach Vance Downs is going to start putting in the people who don't get as much playing time, because 3:17 to go in the fourth. No fouls to give. Down by 27. At this point, let's just face it, folks, it would be darn near impossible for the Huskies to make a comeback.
Yeah, they struggled at the start. They got off to a bit of a slow start, and they just haven't been able to stop Ames at all. And they made some costly turnovers in that first half that have definitely not helped their case towards a Substate final place.
And we were expecting this to be a down-to-the-wire absolute shootout, and it was actually
anything but.
Pretty much, yeah. Johnston was a closer game than this.
It was. But granted, this has been definitely the most energetic game of the season, not just because of the student section, just because of how many people showed up here tonight. It's fantastic.
So many for Hoover, a lot more for Ames. And it paid off. And instead, Coach Downs keeps the starters in for Ames. And Brooks tries to bounce pass. It went off the foot of Voss. Keeps the ball in the hands of the little Cyclones with 3:13 to go in the fourth. Here's Brooks. Passes out to Lipsy, to Phillips. And we wind on down to 3 minutes to go in the fourth. Ball is stolen by Wilson. And a three-pointer from Austin is no good. And here's Lipsy bringing it into the front court. 2:49 to go in the fourth. Here's Brooks with the ball for Ames. He drives, puts it up, and he's no good. Rebound taken by Wilson. And Henderson will drive the other way for the little Cyclones.
They got to start taking some shots now if you're Hoover.
Yup, you have to at this point. And here's Wilson. Decided not to shoot it in the corner.
Oh.
Austin unable to lay it in from the outside either.
I guess he felt that he had a better chance of giving it off to Austin and him making a three-pointer than he did. Which I don't blame him for that, because Austin is one of the two guys who have been the stars of the team. But you know, they just haven't had the support that they've needed to win.
We reach under 2 minutes to go in the fourth. And there at this point is no question that Ames is going to win this game.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt now. They've just, as we said before, over and over again tonight, they've been the better team all around. Doesn't matter whether it was three-point shooting, down in the paint, the aggressiveness. It's all been a complete performance from everyone on Ames tonight.
Clock moves down to under a minute and a half to play in the fourth. Ames starting to hold the ball. And Ames fans everywhere. And LeBeau with the putback. Ames fans everywhere. If you remember those two playoff losses in the past decade, man, does this feel nice as Henderson misses from outside, especially considering the fact that Ames is starting to hold this ball, just what Hoover loved to do back then. And a timeout is called, and we're going to start to see some people who don't get much playing time from both sides.
Yeah, I think Hoover's accepted the fact that they're probably not going to come back from this deficit. So they want to make sure that they can get a last ride for some of their seniors on this team to get them some last playing minutes.
In for Ames is seniors Sam Vertinen, number 12, number 50, Nico Stevens, number 44, Patrick Kraffel, number 42, Tate Zalaski, and number 10, Akola Tack. And for Hoover, number 12, Jonathan Boughton, number 21, Mohamed Temsha, number 23, Prince Fode, number 10, Ame Gomo, and number, I can't see. Akola Tack shoots for Ames. Number 22, Nathan Marissi. That's the last one I was missing from Hoover. First one is good from Attack. Akola Tack, whose average per game is only 1.9. And he just met that average. A 31-point lead for the Little Cyclones over the Huskies. And Ames is about to move on. But first, we have just a minute left to call. And a foul is going to be called as Marissi was on the drive there. They are going to get, they're going to get Vertinen for that one.
Yep.
Speaking of Sam Vertinen, we're going to have a episode of Inside the Storm coming up about him very soon, so stay tuned for that. Oh, and what a block from Kraffel! Oh, and Nico Stevens with the block. Everybody's invited to the block party, folks.
Free drinks.
Here's Buckwald, Chris Buckwald, who checked in earlier for the Little Cyclones. 20 seconds to go in the fourth to Kraffel. Buckwald, 15 seconds to go in the fourth. This crowd is getting loud because the Little Cyclones are about to win this game. Pass to Vertinen. Vertinen dribbles it out. And the Ames Little Cyclones are one win away from the state tournament. Wells Fargo Arena is just one game away.
Wow. What a game that was. That was absolutely incredible. No, it was just everybody pitching in. We saw Lipsy play at his finest form. LeBeau had a breakout performance tonight. And Phillips, unstoppable from outside the arc. That was just so entertaining to watch, and it was so satisfying because it felt complete, and it felt like Ames really showed their full potential at potentially going to the state tournament. And I think if they can replicate this kind of performance next week against whoever it may be, Centennial or Indianola, they will have a win.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So it will be Centennial, according to Varsity Bound as of right now. The game has ended 71-53 in the Jaguars' favor. So this will be the third time this year that the Little Cyclones will have met the Jaguars. They lost back in December here in Ames, but they did pick up a win earlier this month down in Ankeny. So those two games were both very, very close, and I would hope that the next game is just as close, and hopefully it'll be a heck of a game that Ames can come away with a win and go into the state tournament.
What a game that's going to be, and like you said, with the closeness of the last few matchups of these two teams, that is going to be some game. And two CIML Metro opponents, or rather Iowa opponents, CIML Iowa Division opponents. I personally believe that either team could easily win and go on to state.
Yeah, whoever wins it will more than likely have deserved it, because Centennial, they may have shown some inconsistencies at times, but they've continually reinforced that they are a very strong team and they have a very strong program down there. And Ames this season coming off the return of Taman and Casey, as well as acquiring Travion and making Phillips a much more versatile player. They've really deserved this sub-state final spot, and hopefully they can go on and get to the state tournament. Who knows how far they can go then.
Absolutely. Well, folks, here's your final score once more. 65-34. Number 3 demolishes number 10 in a game that we didn't expect. We expected this to be closer, but Ames just came out and was absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
And Ames will move on to play Centennial in a location not yet determined for a spot in the state tournament. What a game that will be. We unfortunately will not be broadcasting that. We, as a matter of fact, won't be broadcasting any more playoff games. And as a matter of fact, folks, it'll be Ryan and I's last time as a broadcast duo, so it's definitely been fun, partner.
Yeah, it's been fun. I've enjoyed every single moment of it. You know, from lows of losing close games to the highs of winning these playoff games. It's been fun, not just from basketball, from the football stuff we did this year and volleyball. That was just a phenomenal ride. Couldn't have asked for anyone better to do it with.
Appreciate that. Same here. And now, folks, it's time for my final sign-off. Well, folks, after all these years, it's finally time for my final sign-off. This all started during my freshman year when former principal Spence Evans saw that I was doing play-by-play via audio recordings on my phone in the student section of basketball games. Right before the end of that academic year, I heard from someone who heard from someone else who heard from someone else that Spence wanted to talk to me about announcing basketball games. So I went down to his office, and he offered me the job. And I, without hesitation, accepted the position. So during my sophomore year, I covered Ames High girls and boys basketball games and had nothing short of an absolute blast. During my junior year, I also did pep band when I was doing basketball games, and that was also very fun. During my junior year, I added football and volleyball into the mix, and Ryan Eggert joined me as a color commentator. Doing both marching band and broadcasting for football is a story I can tell you more about if you want to know. You know how to reach me. But let's just say it was a process. A fun process, however. And even during this pandemic year, I was grateful and able to call games with the decision being made to have Iowa high school sports. And that leads to right now. Overall, AHS Sports Network has been an absolute blast, and more importantly, a fantastic way for me to use the talents God has given me to bring glory to his name. Now for some people I'd like to thank. First and foremost, I have to thank God. He has blessed me with the talents that I have. Everything I have done is only through him and the grace he has on my life, and no one deserves the credit more than he does. Secondly, my parents, for being my number one fans, for supporting me despite the fact that instead of playing sports like my other siblings, broadcasting sports is where my true passions lie. And of course, for helping me put my uniform away so I could go broadcast the second half of the football games. That was very important. Next is my siblings, for the same reason, as far as supporting me despite my difference in interests. And yes, even you, Little Bishop. Then I'd like to thank former Principal Spence Evans for giving me the opportunity to do what I love over these years. And then next would be my broadcast partner, Mr. Ryan Eggert, who keeps me from losing my breath and provides excellent insight to the sporting events that we broadcast. Next would be the athletic directors, Judge Johnston and Ian Smith, for always being willing to help out in any way that they could, and also for allowing me this opportunity just as Spence did. And of course, I have to thank the tech guys who helped me out along the way, Patrick Donovan, Joel Doolittle, and Tristan Spears. And finally, there's one more person, or people, I'd like to thank, and that's you. That's right, you, watching this broadcast, for welcoming me into your home all these years. I can't express enough my gratitude for your support, and it has been nothing short of an honor and a privilege to provide you this service all these years and pursue my passion. I'm going to miss this place a lot, and no matter what, no matter where my broadcast career goes, AHS Sports Network is always going to get the credit as the place where it all started. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in during these 2.5 years. I'll never forget you, and you all will always hold a special place in my heart. I'm Carter White.
I'm Ryan Eggert.
For the final time, signing off.